How many Hulk movies do they have to make? You know, I mean, meanwhile, you've got people writing amazing stories, and they make them into animated features. Up was beautiful, and it was a great story. I mean, imagine live action even. The story itself was such a great imaginative story. And Wall-E and so many of these animated, I don't know why, you know, and they make tons of money. And yet still, you know, they don't seem to think, you know, let's dig a little deeper. Let's take a little extra time and find some of those real gems of a creative story, and let's make a film about that. No, they don't. They're like, let's make a new G.I. Joe. Let's make a new, you know, let's make another Transformer. You know, let's make 4 more. And meanwhile, we'll make a million. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm Italian. I do have that passionate. But I'm not mad at anybody. It's just I get excited. I get emotional about things that I care about.
Okay, I have 2 questions.
Pick one good one since we have so many questions here.
What was your favorite part about playing Ed in Full Metal Alchemist?
There were so many great parts about playing that role. I had no idea when we started it what a great role it was going to be. I think my favorite part about Ed is his love for his brother. And I don't mean that like, you know, how sweet moment. I mean that I don't think he even realizes how much his brother means to him until he starts losing so much, you know? Somebody asked me one time, what do you think, if you had to sum up Full Metal Alchemist in one word, what would it be? She says epic. Beautiful? No, like if you had to sum the whole story up, what would be the theme of the whole story? Brotherly love. Okay, I got the word. You ready?
What?
Sacrifice. It's about what you have to give up, what you try to hold on to and lose, what you let go of in order to get something else, what sacrifices you need to make or are willing to make in order to make something else happen. I mean, all down the road, everybody involves sacrifice. And I think that Ed really doesn't understand that concept until, you know, Dad's gone, then Mom's gone. Then by trying to bring Mom back, he almost kills the last family member he's got. You know, and all of the learning and the growing that happens to the character. And he's a flawed character, and that's the best kind of heroes are those flawed heroes who they come out the other side doing the right thing and making the right decisions, and they're victorious overall, but they've made some bad choices along the way, and they've stumbled and fallen, or they lost their way, or they were tricked, or into something, or they like I said, they made bad choices from time to time, and those are the most realistic ones. One of the things that I love about Full Metal was a lot of people like, you know, do you like the way it ended? I hated the way the movie ended, and blah blah, because you know, Wither was gone, and you know, this and that, and the brothers weren't back in their world, and you know, and this and that. You know what? I loved the way the movie ended, and you know why? Because the thing that made the movie ending so great was the thing that made the series so great, and that was, it wasn't just tied up into a nice little bow. It wasn't just picture perfect, you know? Ed and Wendy got married, and Ed and Al went back, and Ed's arms all fixed up good, and he and Roy are buddies, and everything's good.
That will never happen.
You know,
never ever happen.
From the dead, and all the people that Mustang killed in the Ishbal War came back to life, and everything was resolved. Everybody lived happily ever after. That's not real life.
That's a good story.
In real life, even if you get what you go for, most times you didn't get it the way you thought you would, and it cost you stuff along the way. Ed and Al, what did they want? They wanted to be together. Well, they are, but not the way they expected. Not maybe ideally what they wanted. I'm sure they would have wanted to stay with Winry. I'm sure they would have wanted to stay in their own world. But they had to make sacrifices. And I love that it was not a picture-perfect storybook kind of an ending. That's why I liked the ending of the film so much. that there were sacrifices to be made, and there were things unresolved. In all of our lives, there are things that are unresolved, and there are questions about tomorrow and how things are going to pan out. I want to do this, and this is what I'm going to try to, these are the steps I'm going to try to take to get there, but somewhere along the way, oh gosh, I got knocked off course here, and I've got to come in from this direction now, and oh, this didn't work out the way that I thought, so I'm going to have to spend a little more time here. You know, it's a big journey trying to achieve a goal. And most times it doesn't look like you imagined it would, and it takes a lot of different sacrifice and work to get it. And that's what I love. Somehow or another they were able to capture that in Full Metal. So.